everyone, welcome to Monday's science lesson. So as always, I'd like you to start by writing the date and skill into your book. So the date is Monday the 8th of February 2021 and the skill is to measure your pulse before and after an activity. So pause the video and write that in now. Okay, so this week we will explore the importance of exercising and how it helps us to be healthy. So I'd like you to pause the video and have a little think about these two questions. What is exercise? And can you think of any activities that count as exercise? So pause the video and discuss those two now. Okay, so exercising and being active is a really important part of everybody's lives. And anything that makes your body move and keep you active is exercise, essentially. Because exercise is moving and being active. So here are some examples of what activities you can do for exercise. So you've got running, swimming, dancing, my favourite, and skipping. So why is it important that we exercise? Pause the video and have a chat about that question. So exercising is good for your body and it makes us feel good too. It helps us have a bit more energy, it improves our mood. It's a really important part of our lives. So it's very important as well for your heart because your heart is a muscle. So this means that the more active you are, the stronger your heart gets. Because we know the more you exercise, the stronger the muscles in your body get. But your heart is also a muscle, so it makes your heart stronger as well. So exercise is also very important for the rest of the muscles in your body. Did you know there are over 650 muscles in your body? That's a lot, isn't it? So with every exercise that you do, each of your muscles get stronger. So I'd like to pause the video and think, how do you feel after a PE lesson? And what do you notice about your body after you've exercised? So pause the video and have a chat about those two questions now. Okay, so how can exercise affect your body? Well, it can make you sweat more. You might feel out of breath or be breathing more quickly and heavier breathing. Your heart might be beating faster and you feel warm. So definitely in yellow class, when we've done our warm up and I'm asking you, do you feel a bit warmer now? It's because you're exercising, you're raising your body temperature. Okay, tricky question now. I'd like you to have a think. What is a pulse rate? So pause the video and think or chat. What is a pulse rate? So a pulse rate is how fast your heart pumps blood around your body. So blood in your body carries oxygen all the way around your body, which is needed for us to stay alive. So your pulse rate changes depending on what you're doing. So if you're sitting, watching the telly or watching a video for your home learning, your pulse rate will be quite slow, or it'll just be your resting pulse rate because your body doesn't need to pump blood around as quickly. Whereas if you're running and maybe you're doing a really fast running, you're doing a sprint, your breathing will be heavier because your body needs to get more blood around your body to get oxygen to all of those different muscles so they can work really fast while you're running. So it's really important that the more you're heavy breathing, the faster your heart is beating and the quicker the blood is getting around your body. So it's all linked, isn't it? Well done if you knew that. That was a tricky question. Okay, so do you know how could we measure our pulse rate or our heart rate? Pause the video and have a little think. Okay, so to check our heart rate or our pulse rate, we can put two fingers just below our jaw and press really gently to feel for the spot where you can feel your pulse. So it's sort of in the squishy bit on the side of your neck. So it's really important that you just press gently because we don't want you to hurt yourselves. It might be that you need an adult to come and help you find this because it can be really tricky to spot. Some of you also might need to find it in your wrist. So again, with two fingers underneath where your thumb is on your wrist, again, pressing gently. So I'd like you to just have a quick pause and ask our adult to help you if you need to. It's just practice finding your pulse rate. Okay. So today then, we are going to investigate how different types of exercise can change our pulse rate. So talk to your talk partner. What types of exercise could we do to investigate our pulse rate? So thinking about what sort of sensible activities we could do, because we're probably not going to want to run a marathon now, are we? Because it takes lots of training and we probably won't be able to fit it in our time that we've got for this lesson. So what sort of short, sensible activities might we be using in our investigation today? Pause the video and have a little think. Okay, so the exercises that we will be doing today are running, jumping, rolling our arms or rolling our shoulders, star jumps, and walking. So running, jumping and walking will be done on the spot. So it's really important that before we start you make sure that you've got enough room around you and you're not going to be disrupting people if you're at home and they are working. Okay, so for our investigation, now we're going to be doing these 5 activities: running, jumping, walking, rolling our arms or shoulders, and star jumps. So you are going to measure and record your pulse rate before you do any activity. So you're going to do it for 1 minute. So you're going to sit or stand wherever you are, find your pulse rate, start your 1 minute timer, and then count your pulse rate, count how many beats you feel in that minute, and you're going to write down that number in your before exercise column on your grid. Then you're going to do your first activity for 1 minute. So it might be running is your first activity, so you're going to run on the spot whilst your 1 minute timer is counting you down. You're going to keep running, keep running, keep running, keep running. When your 1 minute is up, you will then stand again, find your pulse, count it again for a minute, and then whatever that number is, you will write on your after exercise column in your grid. Once you've completed your first activity and you've recorded your pulse and you've counted it and you've written it down, you're then going to need to have some rest time. So you're going to need a few minutes to rest between each activity, so you can colour or practice your handwriting, or if you've maybe got something that you're watching on a different device, or maybe just have a chat with somebody that's there with you for a couple of minutes before you're ready to start on the next activity. So you will repeat this for all 5 activities. Okay. So I'd like you to think then, why do we need to rest between each activity? Pause the video and have a little think about that now. Okay, so to keep it a fair test, we need to make sure that we get our heart rate to go all the way back down to our resting heart rate before we start the next exercise, because otherwise it's just going to get faster and faster and faster because we'll just keep exercising, and that won't be a fair test about the before and after results that we're trying to find. I'd also like you to now pause the video and have a think about why each activity is 1 minute long. Why have we decided to do it for 1 minute? Pause the video, off you go. So if I'd asked you to do each of these activities for an hour, you would be exhausted, wouldn't you? And you definitely wouldn't be able to fit it all into your science lesson. So we needed to make sure it was a short enough amount of time that we could fit it in and make sure it's sensible. But also, if we only asked you to do each thing for 10 seconds, it probably wouldn't be enough time for your heart rate to increase enough for us to notice some sort of difference, if there is one, between the before and after results of the exercise, of your pulse rate. So that's why we decided to do 1 minute, because we thought that was quite a good time for you to use. Okay, so you are going to be recording the results from our investigation today in a table. My words are going. I was going to say times table, but that's not what I meant. In a table like this. So you can either print this from the school website, as always it's under the video on a PDF that you can print out, or you can pause the video now and draw it in your books. But whatever you're going to do, I'd like you to sort it out now, because if you're trying to sort it out whilst you're counting your minute and doing your exercise, it will get quite tricky. So make sure now that you pause the video and either print and stick it into your book or copy it from this slide into your book using your ruler. Okay, off you go. Brilliant, well done. Okay, so we're ready to start. So I've got a 1 minute timer here, and you're going to use this lots today. So remember, you will need to measure your resting pulse for 1 minute, so that's this timer. Then you're going to complete the activity for 1 minute. Then use the timer again to measure and record your pulse rate after the activity and write it into your grid. Okay, I'm only going to do the video once, otherwise this file is going to be way too big to go on the website. So you will just have to rewind and back to the beginning of the video for each time you need the 1 minute counter. Okay, so when I start at this time, you're going to find your pulse, so find your pulse now. And then once the 1 minute timer has started, you can start counting. Once you've done that, you can write it into your My Pulse Before column. And then the first activity you will do when you rewind and get back to the beginning of the minute starter is jumping. Okay, off you go. So find your pulse. If you haven't found it yet, pause the video. If you have, you start counting when Okay, so whatever your pulse rate was, you're now going to write that into this top box for My Pulse Before, and then once you've written that in, you can rewind the video to the beginning of this 1 minute countdown timer and do your jumping. Once you've done your jumping, you can rewind it and get your pulse for afterwards, and then have a couple of minutes before you move on to your running. Of course, if you've got a timer at home that you'd like to use because it's maybe just slightly simpler for you, that's totally fine as well. Okay, have a go at this activity, enjoy, and once you finish, come back to this point and I will talk you through the rest of this lesson. Off you go. Okay. So let's look at our results. What did we find in our investigation today? So I'd like you to just pause the video and have a look at your results. Is there a pattern? What did you notice? And when you're done, you can come back. So hopefully you noticed that the faster your body moves, the more oxygen it takes for your body to function. So this means that your heart has to work harder and faster to get the muscles in your body the oxygen that it needs. So to get it there faster, the heart needs to beat faster and pump the blood faster. So probably before you exercised, it was a lower number than it would have been after you'd done the exercise. So you're out of breath because your body needs more oxygen, which you get from breathing, and you sweat because you're hot after exercising and it helps you to cool down. Well done if you noticed those things. Okay, for your plenary then today, I would like you please to write a sentence underneath your grid about which was your favourite exercise out of the 5 that we did today, and how did you feel after exercising today. Write down 3 words to describe how you felt. Okay, I really hope you enjoyed this lesson, and have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Goodbye.